Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, well, a little more ruach, a little more spirit. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, there you go. That is really the voices I want to hear. Edie Weinstein is in the house. Shabbat Shalom, Edie. For those of you who are at home, let me just say welcome, Shabbat Shalom. We'd love to see you here, but we're glad you're with us if you're watching at home. And people are watching from far and wide, New Jersey, Arizona, all kinds of places. So we're always glad to welcome you and see you on this Shabbat. Tonight, I would like to invite Neil and Debbie Greenspan to come and light candles. Our service will begin on page 121. You can leave your prayer books there because I have them right up here. Come on up. Yeah, the candles are both there, but first I want you to read. Okay. Right? These two paragraphs there.
Okay. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Thank you so much. So the candles are behind you. Just like this. Amen. Thank you so much. Let's all sing together. Stay here.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. 128, get your clapping hands going. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 How good it is,
How good it is.
how sweet it is,
How sweet it is.
how to be together on this day. How good it is,
How good it is.
how sweet it is,
How sweet it is.
to be together on this day. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achayot gam yachad.
We're on page 138 and 39 with Lecha Dodi as we welcome the Sabbath bride to us. And we're going to do verses 1, 5, and 9. And before we sing verse 9, if you could rise and turn towards the door as we welcome in the spirit of inclusion in this Shabbat, the Sabbath Queen, so that we might feel and experience that covenant for ourselves. Verses 1, 5, and 9.
La 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 la. Likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha doti, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nekabela. La 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 la. Lecha doti, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha doti, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'diborecha, ishmi'a המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם עולי תפארת אליתי, לה 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 לחדותי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לחדותי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. כבוד אדוני עלייך לה 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 לחדותי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לחדותי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please rise.
בואי בשלום התרב עלה, גם בשמחה וזאת עולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לה 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 לחדותי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לחדותי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. One more time, לחדותי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לחדותי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. 144.
And you may be seated. Also, may I just say before we do the Chetzi Kadesh that Scarly Kane has the right idea. She's dancing. She's dancing. It's during L'chadoti, it's a moment of joy. Way to go, Scarly. Yitkadav, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Yama Divrach, Yerutev, Yamlich, Malchutei, Bechayechon, Uv'yomechon, Uv'chayei Nechol Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Bagala, Uv'izman Kariv, V'ilmeru,
Amen.
Yesh Merabah Mevarach, Le'alam Ulam Le'amaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitbar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitalev, V'yitalal, Shemei Dekudishah,
Berichu.
Le'la min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma, v'meru, amen. Page 146, the Baruch Hu. We rise. Are we awake? Are we awake to the suffering of others? That's the question.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yalla lie, lie, yalla lie, 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 lie, lie. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared?
may be seated. So this morning, I officiated a funeral. It was a non-member. It was I had a congregant at Temple Bethel who called me. It was a friend of his who had called him. And this woman, her name was Enid Burroughs, and she had no one in her life. She wasn't married. She didn't have any children. She had no relatives except for this gentleman, who was her brother-in-law. And so there's just 4 people at the cemetery today. And my friend who invited me to do the service said, this good friend of mine, who's the brother-in-law, he spent a lot of time in Anchorage, Alaska, as a lawyer. And I was like, I said, my wife's family has lots of family that lived in Anchorage for a long time. So the man comes up to me when I meet him, and he says, who is your family in Anchorage? And I said, my sister-in-law, Jean Abbott. And he said, I know Jean Abbott. I was like, must be the smallest world possible. And then she said, and her husband, Stan. I was like, yes. I said, they were editors together at the Anchorage Daily News. He said, yeah, I was really good friends with them. I was like, wow. I'd never met this person before. He had spent 40 years in Anchorage. I didn't really know, never been to Anchorage. I don't know the kind of city dynamics it is. He told me that it's a very small city, really, and everyone knows each other there. But it just reminds me, yet again, of what an incredibly small world this is, and how interconnected we are. And one of the ways we're interconnected, of course, is that we have this set of values that we've internalized, but which the world is still striving for, and which we're striving for, even though we've internalized them. The values of Torah that we celebrate and remember each and every Shabbat. It's what makes the world small. I know that it seems small because you meet these people far flung, but really what's small about it is that we share a set of values that have always held us together and given us light and life. We join together on page 150 for Ahavat Olam, because in God's great love, God gave us Torah, and in great love we received it, and hopefully are striving to live up to its ideals.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shofenu, v'kumenu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratcha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla, ve'ahavatcha tasir, imenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael.
We rise now as we affirm God's oneness and the oneness of our people as we pray the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
melechuto leolam va'ed. You may be seated. Our service now continues on page 154 with the Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
So David, when we approached the sea as a people, and the sea was just like an obstacle in our way, what did the people do? How did they react to Moses?
I would have panicked.
Yeah, and what did they do?
I think they panicked.
They panicked and they kvetched and they complained. Yep. And so, when obstacles come our way, you can do one of two things.
Complain.
I know in my family we complain. That's not my biological family, not my current family. I would never say that about my current family. But but then there's another way to approach it too. For example, the way Nachshon did. What did he do?
He walked into the water.
He did. He walked into the water. He took a step in faithfulness. And then another one, and then another one, and then another one. And then God saw that at least one person didn't panic and said, I have enough faith that God is going to take care of this, that God won't let me drown. And indeed, when God saw that, God took a step toward Nachshon, and then the seas parted. I think that teaches us something quite important, doesn't it?
I've heard that a few times, Rabbi, and yet today it hits me differently. As I was remembering my one daughter this morning getting ready for school, while my other daughter is asking me a question, the other daughter is answering the question for me to my other daughter, and there's all this stuff going on, and somebody has to make the right move to get us to school on time. It was not me today. It was my daughter Ariel who kind of took the lead for us and said, I'm going to walk into a little different than walking to freedom, but maybe the same.
It has a certain resonance.
Sure,
of
exactly.
walking to freedom for her. So there you go. It's like, let's stop complaining and start moving. Okay. Micha Mocha, page 158.
Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Adonai. Clap your hands if you wish. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la. understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu, Leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Rabbi, I'm noticing something on 160, that last line, for you, God, wash over us and deliver us, for you, God, are gracious and merciful, guard our going and our coming to life and to peace evermore. It's interesting that in this prayer, we see peace again later on, we see peace again later on. And I'm just reminded that we're reminded each time in the service to kind of always jump back to peace when you don't know what to do.
And even when you do know what to do, we go to peace, because indeed, shalom, the act of peace, is so much more than that. The act of completion, the act of knowing that within yourself and for others, there's peace. By the way, Vishamru, which we're about to do on page 162, is also about peace in a lot of ways. And the reason for that is because God created the world in 6 days, and on the seventh day, God had peace. The Vishamru, feel free to twirl, feel free to go, woo, woo, or feel free to do this, which is one of my favorites.
Or add something new to the repertoire.
Oh yeah, it's true. Be creative.
We trust it. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratim berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratim berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam. Oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratim berit olam. Ki sheishet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et ha'aretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratim berit olam. Ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratim berit olam. One more time. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratim berit olam.
Page 164, we now rise for the Amidah.
Adonai, Sifatai Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Page 166.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei B'neihem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Abraham, Bezrat Sarah.
168.
Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol atah Rav Lehoshia,
Mashiv HaRuach U'morid HaGashem.
Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Givorot, Umidom Melach, Melech Memit, Umechayeh, Umatmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol.
You may be seated.
170.
Oh, 170, of
Atah
course.
kadosh v'simcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahaleluch ha'selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh.
Now you may be seated.
It has the same ending.
Oh my goodness. All right. We're going to continue now on page 177. Our prayer for gratitude and thanksgiving. Please join me in the English as when we behold. When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place. What are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us. You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha l'chana'eh l'hodot. Our prayer for peace is Shalom Rav. I wanted to just say a few words right now. I don't know how many people heard Senator Schumer's speech yesterday. He spoke about Israel. And Senator Schumer is the highest ranking Jewish member of Congress, not just now, but ever, as the Senate Majority Leader. And one thing I can say about Senator Schumer, and I don't always agree with him, but in his kishkas, he loves the Jewish people and Israel. And when some months ago, when he spoke about anti-Semitism, it was from his heart, not with any political gain, but just something he needed to say, because it was so disturbing to him, both in his party and the other. And so when he spoke about Israel yesterday, he spoke about Prime Minister Netanyahu, and he said that he was an obstacle to peace, which, as most American Jews would say, he spoke for us too, that feeling. And it was a difficult thing to say, I'm sure. But he felt that he needed to say it because things were not going well. Things were moving farther away from peace than they ought to be. And in response to that, Senator McConnell said, he disparaged Senator Schumer's speech and said that he would welcome Prime Minister Netanyahu in Republican meeting that they were having anytime, which was nothing other than an attempt to use Jewish suffering for his own electoral gain. And it just kind of struck me as ironic that a man so dedicated to Jewish life over his many years of public service, and who has visited Israel countless times and in supporting Israel, would then be accused of being an enemy of Israel by the other party. And how wrong that felt to me. It should be noted that Senator McConnell, not being a member of our faith, also represents a party in the Senate that also has no Jewish members at all in the Senate. And we have to ask ourselves just why that is. If you love our people, which is you say you do, then love our people here at home and not just halfway around the world. And if you did, and if you do, I'm sure we'll move a lot closer to peace and Shalom Rav in abundance. Thank you, Senator Schumer, for speaking from your heart. And I hope that inspires many other senators from both parties to speak with theirs. Shalom Rav is found on page 178.
Shalom
Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki atahu melech adon v'chol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon v'chol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Please take a few moments now for silent prayer and for the meditation in your hearts.
sky onto this small town to make her a peace. I'm begging you, please. Enough heavens you made, there's nothing you can't do. Yes, I am safe, but for some sand has slipped through this life's hourglass. And so I ask, oh, say shalom, bimroma, say shalom aleinu, ve'alko Yisrael, ve'alko yoshvei tevet, v'imru amen. I used to think that peace was a given. We would spread love, and this joy we were living, I took it for granted. It's not how I planned it. But just look around, someone's always helping and shining their light, so the snow it is melting. Bring peace to replace war. Was that what I'm made for? Oh, say shalom, bimroma, say shalom aleinu, ve'alko Yisrael, ve'alko yoshvei tevet, v'imru amen. V'imru amen.
That song was adapted by our very own David Perlman. Quite beautiful. Thank you.
You'll notice a theme in the next few little bits of the service. We're on 371.
For those who are thinking of friends and family and loved ones in need of healing, please feel free to name them aloud or within your hearts as my eyes meet yours. Thank you. Thank you. In our community, tonight we're thinking of Bonnie Jaffe. Bonnie had surgery today and it apparently went well, and we're glad to hear that, and she's recovering. Thinking about Doris Katz, for Stephen Kaplan, who's in recovery also from surgery, for Roseanne Jacobson, Emily Haw, Carol Knopf. Carol, we're thinking of you. Shula Schoenfeld, our prayers are working. Madeline Cantor, Rosalie Feldman, Jake Seliger, and David Messing. My mom and my brother-in-law Larry, and my great niece Aurora, all in need of healing today. It's not such a good day for my family. So, thinking good prayers for them. And we say, Baruch atah Adonai Rafeach Cholim. Blessed are you, God, healer of the sick. Page 371, we pray together for healing.
Misheberach avoteinu mekor habracha ve'imoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Rabbi, can I share something?
Of course, please.
As we were looking to do the bulletin this week, Adina emailed us what was from the bulletin 4 years ago. And it was really sobering to look at the bulletin from 4 years ago. Just to remind you what was happening, we had just had our Moana Purim spiel. We had heard about COVID, we knew that it was a thing, but we didn't really understand to the level that it was at. We had a different president, we had different people out in the world, and all of us were kind of freaking out. Maybe not unlike the people at the seat. And I noticed messages that were in there from Elaine, our president, and from Andy, our rabbi at the time, and from me, and from Adina, and from all of us who were willing to write something. And all of it was, look for the light, look at the good stuff. And so, it's hard to believe it's been 4 years already. But we're sitting in a much different place. And I'm hoping that everybody who's still struggling is able to find their way through. And I just felt compelled to share that in this moment.
Absolutely. If people are still experiencing long COVID in our community and in our state, thinking of you, because many people are, and there are not a lot of resources for them. So absolutely, thank you. And for all of you who maintain your faith and maintain your affiliation with Temple Abanim or any Reform or Conservative Orthodox synagogue, we appreciate that, because it's certainly very, very difficult to come to be a new rabbi or to be just any rabbi or any member of the community during that time, because David and I, for the first year and a half, were just by ourselves here. So we're so happy to see all of you and hoping that everyone's feeling and healing.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
I hope that there are things to celebrate tonight on this Shabbat, things that maybe happened this week or things that are about to happen, things that you want to share with the community. We would love. Oh, Kay, go ahead. Wow.
Sorry, did you say 5?
5.
Wow.
Okay. Do you have the earrings for them yet?
Yes, they have the earrings in the
Oh, right, to hold it. Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Good. As my mother would say, enjoy them in good health.
Yeah, I was going to say, wear them in health. Yes.
Scarling. Oh my gosh, no school for 2 weeks?
What are you going to do?
Oh my gosh, wow.
How are you spending your time, Scarly? Just good. That's good. You're doing a lot of projects around the house, repairing stuff. Oh, at Camp Papa's house. Yeah, yeah. It's a good camp over there. And the price is right. Very good. I'm glad. Continue to enjoy, Scarly. I hope the vacation is lots and lots of fun. Not like that drudgery that you have to do usually. All right.
Yeah, Jacob, if you don't say it, I'm going to say it for you. So
Oh, wait, no, but... Oh, all right. Well, we'll go to Jacob, then to Neil. Okay.
I delivered a presentation at a conference in Atlantic City a couple of days ago. The first time I've ever done anything like that. So it was well out of my comfort zone, and it went really well. And I'm doing it again next weekend.
Yesha Koach, that is wonderful.
And you don't know this, Jacob, but I saw a lot of people that I knew from the camp world in the URJ world were there, so they must have crossed paths with you and possibly even heard your speech. I don't know necessarily. Mazel tov on your new business, mazel tov on your new venture, and may it go well.
It sounds like it's off to a great start, so that's fantastic. All right. Neil, go ahead.
We'll be traveling to D.C. next weekend for our granddaughter's 2nd birthday.
Oh my gosh, mazel tov.
We'll be there, so we're excited.
That's very special. Are you going to drive or take the train?
Not fly.
You're going to fly. Okay. All right. Well. Oh, go kid. All right. Go ahead, Deborah.
I became a great aunt this week.
Oh, mazel tov.
Great nephew.
Wow.
And he's named after my father, who's your scientist tonight.
Oh, no. It's both a bittersweet moment as we remember your dad, but also the new life that's been given and in his memory. So that's lovely. Thank you. Allison, go ahead.
I hope my presentation at the National Family Center Treatment Conference went well. But either way, my coworkers and I had a great time, and we learned some really new and innovative ways to help families, so that was very cool.
That is fantastic, Allison. And Craig, were you at that conference?
I missed her presentation.
Oh, okay.
I still have the presentation.
Craig and Allison know each other from work, and here they are meeting at Temple
It's
as
like
well.
it's a presentation.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
a present.
yeah,
right?
it's a gift. Danielle, go ahead.
Well, first of all, Allison she did bring me back a very lovely shirt from Atlanta.
Oh, that is so nice.
And we've been practicing so much for Furspiel.
Oh.
And I'm really, really grateful to her because I was epic and she gave me lots of pep talks and I feel better.
That is great, and thank you for that promotion. It should interest you to know that Allison and Danielle are going to be playing. Well, Allison will be playing.
Oh, you want me to say?
I do.
Oh, I'm Hayden.
Boo! Okay, we had to do that. That was like important that we do that.
Thank you.
And Danielle will be playing.
Mordecai.
Woo! So there you are. So it's going to be exciting.
And Molly will be playing.
Yay! Okay, Anna and then Molly.
So we weren't here last week, so Jason and I had our 13th anniversary.
Mazel tov! Wow! Yay! And did you guys go away? Oh, okay. You had a stay-at-home celebration. Okay, but 13 is a lucky number, as we know. So, 13th of Adar. I mean, you know, and all. So that's
If
great.
you have a 9 and 11-year-old, 13 means something different. It's Taylor Swift's favorite number. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, now you do.
Okay.
It's a thing. How about that?
Thank you.
It's your Swift anniversary. Nice.
Molly, go ahead. You did. What did you sing?
Oh, I'm so proud of you, Molly.
Wait,
That's awesome.
what song was that? Bad Blood?
Bad Blood.
Oh, that's Taylor Swift as well?
We'll
Oh,
sing it at Oneg together. Yeah.
okay. All right, that would be great.
Okay.
Wow. It's fantastic, Molly.
I probably could. Maybe we could make a leaving Egypt, plagues,
Mm-hmm.
the first,
The first plague. Yeah.
What's that?
We don't own the masters.
No, we don't own the masters. Something tells
That's-
me we have a lot of creativity in this room. We could figure it out. Molly, I'm so proud of you, and selfishly, may that singing come into the temple at some time, but separately, I'm just excited for you. That's awesome.
Hey, Molly, were there other classmates who sang Taylor Swift songs in the talent show?
So she's staying with 3 friends, but they've named it the Taylor Swift Talent Show, because I think there was about 12 or 13 different Taylor Swift songs.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If you haven't gotten on board, just
Get on the
board.
train.
Yeah,
Just get on the train.
It'll be.
It's easier. Okay. Thank you. I'm so happy to hear that news. All right. Let's, can we sing? Let's sing.
We also had a really fantastic wine and dine last weekend.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was wonderful. We talked during the service, but afterwards it was just amazing to see how much work and time has been put into it, and how it was really sweet and it was nice. So we're gonna have some more down the line. Come on out. We'd love to have you there.
It's wonderful to eat and enjoy Shabbat together that way. It was very, very special to dine and celebrate, and delicious as well. Absolutely.
648 Shehechyan. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu b'zman hazeh.
We were celebrating Hanukkah here, and we were having tefillah on that Sunday morning, and David put on the visual tefillah this song parody by the Maccabees, right? Was it by the Maccabees? Yeah. And everyone in the audience, in the congregation was just laughing, and I was sitting here, I was don't know why this is funny. But it turned out that every song in the song parody was a Taylor Swift song. And everyone else knew that except for... And I asked a young mom about why it was funny, and she said, "They're all Taylor Swift songs." I was okay. All right. Where's the fish song parody? Okay, anyway. That's right, I know. So this week's Torah portion, Pikudei, is the last portion of Exodus and chronicles in exacting detail the last steps of constructing the Mishkan, our holy tabernacle. We don't read this portion very often. It's the second half of a double portion. It's only read when there's a leap month. But given its clinical architectural narrative, that's probably not a bad thing. So I was reading the portion this week, and this is what I discovered. The word gold, which in Hebrew is zahav, is mentioned 19 times. Apparently, a lot of gold was used to construct the Mishkan. And here's something else. The Hebrew word shekel, a word denoting coins or money, is used 6 times to indicate the precise amounts of gold, silver, and copper that we use to make the Mishkan. And there was this verse too. Quote, "They made the frontlet for the holy crown of pure gold and incised upon it the seal inscription, 'Holy to the Lord.'" Now, let's just say, for the sake of this sermon, that you were a person who believed that Jews, as a people, were interested, maybe even devoted to, money. If you were already predisposed to those beliefs, you might read this Torah portion and conclude Even when they built the tabernacle, all the Jews really cared about were gold and shekels. You might even make the association that Judas, Jesus' apostle, betrayed him for 30 pieces of silver. Yet another example of the Jews' love for money. And this predisposition might lead you to believe that Jews have the power to shape the economy and world events. You might believe, as many people on the right actually do, that shadowy Jewish billionaire George Soros are responsible for all sorts of things like caravans of Mexican immigrants, the corruption of hundreds of blue state district attorneys, drug cartels, not to mention the rise of globalist cosmopolitans secretly plotting against white Americans. I guess it depends on your outlook, on your bias. The lens, that's the lens you look through when you see the world. How does it happen that so many of our neighbors believe such absurd and pernicious tales? Well, one theory might be explained by a social psychology term called confirmation bias. According to Wikipedia, confirmation bias is the, quote, tendency to process information by looking for or interpreting information that is consistent with our pre-existing beliefs. This biased approach to decision-making is largely unintentional and results in a person ignoring information that is inconsistent with their beliefs. We do this all the time, in both significant and insignificant ways. For example, have you ever noticed that after you buy a car, let's say like a Toyota Prius, you start to notice how many more Priuses are on the road? It's not that the number of Priuses on the road have changed, it's that your senses are now attuned and oriented to see the car you just bought. That's confirmation bias. And just to throw another log onto the social psychology fire, social media has catapulted confirmation bias to heights that just a few years ago were unimaginable. The algorithms of Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and so many other sites are designed to feed you only the information or stories that confirm your pre-existing beliefs. These days, most of us are overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of information that confirms our most sacred political and cultural beliefs. And the more our feeds feed to us, the more food we need to satisfy our insatiable appetite. So, this past Sunday night, which was, as you'll notice from the song that David adapted, was what? It was the Oscars. It was the Oscars. And the film, The Zone of Interest, won the Oscar for Best International Film. How many people here in the congregation have seen The Zone of Interest? Okay, just me. Okay, that's all right. It is a superb film about the commandant of Auschwitz, who lived with his wife, 5 children, multiple servants, and a luxurious swimming pool right next door to the concentration camp. Auschwitz is always there in the film, a looming, haunting shadow, the high walls, the barbed wire, the grinding metal, the random sounds of gunfire and shrieks of terror, all while the adults and children tarry and play and celebrate their good fortune. The film's theme, our frightening ability to dehumanize the other, to be indifferent to other people's suffering, is one of the most arresting and powerful films of the Holocaust I've ever seen. When the film's Jewish director, Jonathan Glazer, accepted the award, he said, quote, "Our film shows where dehumanization leads, at its worst. It shaped all of our past and present. Right now, we stand here as men who refute their Jewishness and the Holocaust being hijacked by an occupation, which has led to conflict for so many innocent people, unquote. He then added, quote, whether the victims of October 7th or the ongoing attack on Gaza, all the victims of dehumanization. How do we resist? Unquote. And from that moment on, confirmation bias carried the evening. The entertainment newspaper Variety quoted Glazer as saying, quote, right now we stand here as men who refute their Jewishness. Stop. That's how Variety quoted that. Abe Foxman, the former director of the ADL, tweeted that Glazer should be pilloried because he picked a fine time to, quote, refute his Jewishness. Foxman knew that Glazer was in part criticizing Israel's conduct in Gaza, so instead of listening to what he actually said, that he refuted those who were hijacking Jewishness in the Holocaust by an occupation, Foxman heard that Glazer was refuting his Jewishness and the Holocaust. Conservative commentator Ben Shapiro wrote that Glazer was, quote, a villain picking up awards from the bodies of those anonymous dead Jews while ignoring the living ones getting slaughtered by genocidal murderers. I have to say, my friends, this is a difficult time to be Jewish. If Abe Foxman or Ben Shapiro or anyone else who condemned Jonathan Glazer had actually seen his film, they would have known that he is a sincere and thoughtful artist, that he is thinking, maybe to the point of obsession, about the value, dignity, and worth of every human life, and that he is appalled by the indifference, both during the Shoah and today, that people are capable of. Instead of acting like a hammer and believing every single thing that doesn't confirm your worldview is a nail, instead of presuming that any kind of criticism comes from a place of hate rather than a place of love and concern, instead of assuming the absolute worst of every single person who doesn't agree with you fully and completely, let's try something new and listen. It's not so easy at first. People who disagree with us can be so distasteful. But maybe if we experienced their art or heard what they actually said, we might find our minds broadening, our hearts opening, and our world, which was once so small and narrow, was now expanding in the most unexpected ways. In whatever form it takes, may we refute our indifference to suffering. Let us not avert our eyes from those who have died. Let us not turn away from another's misfortune and grief. And may we be the ones, roused from our indifference, who will be and are the pursuers of peace. Shabbat Shalom. We turn now to page 586 as we rise for the Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamona, v'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
591.
ונאמר והיה אדוני
seated. At this time, we remember those who died in recent days, those whose families are in the midst of Shiva and Shloshim. We also recall those who died at this time in years past, those whose yurtzites are observed on this Shabbat. If you should hear the name of a loved one, please feel free to rise so we may acknowledge your status as a mourner. At the end of the Kaddish list, all of us will rise in support of those who mourn. This evening in Shiva and Shloshim, we remember Terrence James Boylan Sr., beloved father and father-in-law, Terrence and Jennifer Boylan, beloved grandfather of Jamie and Tanner Boylan, Yair Kagan, beloved husband of Shoshana Kagan, beloved father of David Kagan and father-in-law Rachel Simmons, beloved grandfather of Benjamin and Leora Kagan, Robert M. Young, esteemed filmmaker and dear friend of Hillary Rosenfeld, and Enid Burroughs, beloved sister-in-law of Jeffrey Feldman. We remember those who died at this time in years past, those whose yurtzets fall on this Shabbat. This evening we remember Florence Huffman, beloved mother of Anne Cohen, Louis Huffman, MD, beloved father of Anne Cohen, Solomon Newman, beloved father of Debbie Greenspan, father-in-law of Neil Greenspan, Sam Newman, beloved brother of Debbie Greenspan, brother-in-law of Neil Greenspan, Louis Dansky, beloved stepfather of Craig Gordon, stepfather-in-law of Sue Ellen Gordon, Shoshana Gordoni, beloved grandmother of Shara Phillip, Helene Axelrod, beloved mother of June Poses, mother-in-law of Roy Poses, Harriet Schechtman, beloved mother of Joe Schechtman, Samuel Berger, beloved father of Myra Shays, Anna Wexler Meister, beloved grandmother of Lisa Topper, Erica McKeown, dear friend of the Temple Habanim community and the Ruach singers. Are there any other names for those who are observing at yurtzeit this evening? Thank you. And you know what, Bob? It's completely right there, and I simply skipped right over it. I'm so sorry. It's right there. Zichronam livracha, may the righteous always be remembered for a blessing, so that together we may remember those who died. We all now join in support of those who mourn and turn to page 598 as we pray the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah v'yalmad yivrach yerotei v'yamlich malchutei b'chaye echon v'yom echon u'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei alaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'halal Shemei D'Kudusha B'Rechu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tush B'chata V'Nechemata Da'amiran Be'alma V'Imru Amen Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shamaya V'Chayim Aleinu V'Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen Oseh Shalom B'Mromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'Kol Yisrael V'Kol Yoshvei Tevel V'Imru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. Let us say, Amen.
Please be seated. Oseh Shalom B'Mromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Imru
like to thank our greeter tonight, Heidi Brousseau, for greeting. And if you want to be a greeter, why, we would love for you to sign up. It'd be so great because get to meet everybody. Heidi, give us a little personal testimonial. Wasn't it fun to meet everybody? Yeah. So it's just, so please do that. And we also want to thank our ONEG hosts. That would be Deborah and Neil Greenspan and June and Roy Poses. Thank you for providing us the ONEG.
And whoever set it up yesterday,
it was
really,
June.
Thank you. It was really neat to come into the building and see something that you didn't necessarily expect to be there. At that moment, there's something exciting about it. So thank you for doing that.
So tomorrow, where will we be? Right here, exactly, for services on Shabbat morning at 10 o'clock. So come and join me. We will, I will be chanting Torah, and we'll have a Torah study right here. So come on out, Saturday 10 a.m. If you're watching at home, this is a great opportunity for you to be here on Shabbat morning. We'd love to see you.
If it's a little early for you, or not in the work, or both, you can come to this later. Bikti is having a movie night.
Oh, right.
5:30, pizza included. Little Mermaid, the newer one. We're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna hang out and eat some pizza and watch some mermaids.
Because it's a really great weekend here at Temple Habonim. Services, then movie night, and Havdalah first.
They might even get some puns.
Yeah, they might.
I tried to hit it, but I tried then to.
Oh, yeah, no, it's good.
Okay.
Nice Greek mythy kind of thing.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so then, Sunday morning, religious school, come for a bagel breakfast, 9 a.m. We'll be here. It is the final religious school day before Purim Spiel on the 23rd. Yay! Woo. Guys, if you think Purim is for kids, you are so wrong about this. Purim is a holiday for adults. Purim is a holiday to celebrate.
And God gave us Allison and Danielle out of nowhere. Yeah. And they have really added so much to the show.
Absolutely.
Very grateful.
So it's going to be, yeah, exactly. So a mac and cheese dinner with fish sticks. It's an under the sea themed dinner. You probably haven't had a fish stick in a long time. So it's probably a good time to come and get reacquainted with that old standby. And very comforting. And then... if you want to come for dinner, you just got to register this week. Yeah, this week. And then after we do Purim Spiel Saturday night, what time is Purim Spiel?
The Spiel starts at 6:45.
Dinner is at 6?
I could be wrong about the 5:30. Yeah.
5:30.
Somebody reads their e-blast.
5:30. Good. And then the Spiel is at 6:30.
I did that on purpose so you could correct.
Yeah.
You earned a gold star. It's in your e-blast the correct time. I'm pretty sure it's 5:45 and 6:30.
Okay.
I think we're great.
Yeah, I think we're going to just play it by kind of, when we're done. We're just going to come on in here. Okay.
But the camera will be on at 6:30. Nice.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody must be really good about sending out the e-blast every week and making sure all the details are there. Thank you, Adina.
Okay.
Always being on top of it.
All right, so this week, I've got to tell you, we've got Rabbi Moshe Druin will be here.
Has anybody ever seen Moshe Druin speak?
He's
entertaining, right? Yeah.
Okay. This will be my first time with Rabbi Druin. I'm looking forward to it. Rabbi Druin will be working on both the Holocaust scroll and our regular Torah scroll, and we're so excited. He'll be here on Tuesday, March 19th at 7, and again Wednesday, March 20th at 7. So come on out, learn about the Torah, learn about the scroll, and learn about the Sofer, the things that he does, which is really remarkable.
We have our Torah scroll got certified. I think Rabbi can speak more to it, but our Holocaust scroll there was some kind of ceremony that was going on in England.
Actually, it happened this week.
Yeah. And there's some kind of certificate over there on the wall that's new that you can look at your leisure and find out more about it.
To certify it was the 60th anniversary of the recovery of these scrolls. All right, so don't forget Tuesday, March 26th, right here, 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, United Against Hate. We're going to have a program on how to come together and to combat hate, not only against the Jewish people, but against all minorities, and we're going to have a panel of speakers, and David Neal, who works at the Department of Justice, will be here in Rhode Island. It's going to be just a really phenomenal program. That's Tuesday, March 26th. Please RSVP about that soon so we get you. And it's dinner will be provided, and then we'll have a presentation and then time at the ONEG together.
And in case you missed it, during the Academy Awards, they also had a pretty heavy commercial dealing with anti-Semitism. The federal government has ramped up funding and execution for anti-Semitism, and David Neal is part of the federal government, and he knows what he's talking about.
He does. So, so save that date, and then save Friday, Joint Reform Shabbat, which is going to be at Temple Beth El on March 29th, Friday night. And
Dan Nichols, who's been here.
Dan Nichols, right.
Maybe you've seen him.
So that's going to be great. Bob?
Just the people who want to go to that on the 26th need to RSVP to David Neal.
Right.
He's sending out the information.
And there, when you
Thank
see your
you.
e-blast, thank you, when you see your e-blast, the link will be right there. Just go to your e-blast and you can come. Just all you have to do is link. It's so easy. So we know. Yeah, do we have a busy next couple of weeks. It's really incredible. And then save the date for the annual meeting. Woo. It's a barn burner on April 7th. That's Sunday. Aren't we giving them like some breakfast a little bit? 11:30, you have brunch. It's brunch. It's not really breakfast anymore because past, I don't know what time, but it's 11:30 is brunch. So come for brunch, and then at 12 we'll have the meeting. So that's exciting. And then, and then this temple's second night Seder with dinner will be Tuesday, April 23rd. So, it's a lot. It's a lot. All right.
Read your e-blast.
Yeah. There's so much.
On Sunday, we'll be baking Komatashin.
I'm going to get a cut. That's what I'm going to do.
All right.
Okay.
Scarly, Molly, you guys want to come up for Kiddush Motzi?
Would love that.
Anybody else who's young at heart, feel free to join the young in age.
Yeah. He had something else to do. He did. Okay. Molly, why don't you lead us in the Kiddush? Use that big Taylor Swifty voice of yours.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Amen.
L'chaim. It's good, isn't it? It's the real thing. Real grapes. Real grapes and some sugar.
As Rabbi gets out the challah, it was pretty impressive to see how many chalot Jacob made for the wine and dine last week. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. It's really amazing. And this is a broad and majestic challah right here. So,
Ready?
You ready?
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen.
Teavon, go ahead, rip that challah. Thank you, Scarly. All right. Molly, do you want to bring the challah to the oneg? That'd be so great. Thank you.
So the part of the Purim story that we like to focus on is this women empowerment piece. You're going to need your handout. And I was looking for it. Okay.
Oh, do we have one up here? No, here, let me get it.
No, but I have one on my iPad, so
I know,
you
but I
can feel
don't
free.
know.
No, you can share it
Oh, yeah,
if you want.
it's okay. I know the
So
canes
I'll
are-
teach it to you as Rabbi's getting that down there. So, all right, yeah, we'll do it there. You are, that's your part. You are, nailed it. You are. So, do the you are, and then I'll finish the sentence, and you'll see how it goes. Like, you are, do that with me. You are braver than your heartbeat. You are stronger than you know. You are the only one that speaks your truth. The keeper of the keys that hide the fears that you don't show. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. You are endless possibilities. up off the mat. It's just one more at bat. It ain't no more than that. You are. So in case you don't know this part of the story, Mordecai is talking to Esther saying, hey, maybe you were made for this exact moment. Maybe that's the whole purpose of you being alive, is to marry this king and to get him to save the Jewish people. It's pretty powerful. Imagine being told, I think you're meant for this exact moment right now, this exact second, and you get to save all of these people. You are beautifully broken. You are made for this moment.
You are
here for a reason. A paver of the road that has always been uneven. So stand up tall, shout out loud. When it gets hard, don't back down. You won't get too far, hiding who you are. You were meant to shine bright as the star. Get up off the mat, it's just one more at bat. It ain't no more than that. You are, and I know it ain't easy. Nobody else can do what you've done. So when you're running on empty, well, don't you?
You are.
One in a million.
You are.
Just like every one of us.
You are.
Fighter when the world gets tough. You are strong. You belong. You will always be enough. You won't get too far hiding who you are. So you were meant to shine bright as the stars. So get up off the mat. It's just one more at bat. It ain't no more than that. That you are.
Shabbat shalom. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great night.
Shabbat shalom.